Hey y'all, and welcome to another edition of Red, White, and Food with Flag 7. I'm your host, Flag 7. Hope everybody's doing well. It's a drearily nasty looking rainy day out here, so why not talk about cast iron? Everybody's afraid of it, so today we're going to be talking about how do you care for it, how do you clean it, that type of stuff. It's going to be awesome. But if you haven't checked out the intro video about what our channel's about, which is about veterans and food and what we call BOC, y'all know, beverages of choice, y'all go ahead and do that and hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Now, why is that important, you say? Well, not only getting alerts for these fantastic videos that I know you're just sitting and waiting for, but it puts you eligible for our free giveaways. We're giving away everything from cookware. I've got one of these fancy little utensils. See, it's got a little, I think they call it a spatula right there with a little tongue. Heck, we'll give away a Winchester gun safe. Y'all just hit that button. Now, everybody, I want to make this participative as possible. So go ahead and y'all raise your right hand. Your right hand, not your left, your right. There we go. Now, keep your hand up if you believed anything that I just said about those giveaways. What? Seriously, there's one of y'all with your hand still up. The gentleman from Des Moines, Iowa. Sir, with no disrespect, but if you believe that, then you're about as useful as a trapdoor in a canoe. Your elevator's not going to the top floor, and you don't have both oars in your water, and you might not be the brightest bulb on the tree or the sharpest knife in the drawer. In fact, I'd argue that somebody done blew out your pilot light. I'm just messing with it. No giveaways, but hit subscribe. So let's get to it, okay? So the first thing you want to think about when you're cooking is what you're cooking and how you're going to prepare that. So there is nothing wrong with a non-stick pan. Absolutely. Things like eggs or quick sautés or something like that, but you can't put this in the oven. So if you are cooking it up on your stovetop and you say it's got to be a little more done, you cannot put this bad boy in the oven. You could use stainless steel. That's an option for you. I like it. It's really great. So that's an option because it will go safely in the oven. So that's an option. But let's just say you're cooking a big old steak. And when I say big old, when you're using cast iron, you really don't want a meat that is more than 1.5 inches. Now, why is that? Because it most likely won't cook evenly and will need more time to cook, which means you got to put her in the oven. And you can't do that with the other pans. You can use it with a cast iron. Now, I don't know if y'all can see that, but this happens to be a Lodge. This is very common. You can get any kind of cast iron that you want. Doesn't really matter. So let's just take this all the way through. So you're going to cook you a great steak. I'm going to have a video about that shortly. We're going to do something on a steak au poivre, fancy word for pepper steak. So let's say you've cooked that medium rare. It is good to go. Giddy up, get her done. It was yummy. And now you got this pan. How are we going to clean it? Now, number one, a cast iron skillet does not like cold. It doesn't like cold. Cold and steel, no bueno. That's multilingual for not good. Okay? So let's say you've cooked that, you've enjoyed your steak, it's still a little hot. You're just going to use some warm water. You're just going to get you some warm water and clean that off. And you can use a regular sponge. It could have a little abrasive, not a whole lot. You could just use one of these fancy chamois cloths. You can use your red, white, and thing, whatever you want to do, but you don't want to be going to scraping on there. So you do not use metal. You do not take the metal. That's a bad sound. So, Greg, something stuck on that pan, Flag 7. What are we going to do with that? Wooden spoon, or get you one of these fancy little scrapers I got from that Pampered Chef fella, or whatever that heck it is. So nothing abrasive. So you clean that off and you got some hot water in that hot pan, but you say, golly gee darn, I tell you what, there's some stuff there and that's no good. Well, now what are we going to do? Get it hot again. So you may need to put it on the stove for just a couple minutes. And when I say hot, the way you find out whether it's good enough to touch is you just barely touch your hand on it. It's not real hot. It's just a little warm, okay? And by the way, if you want to know everything there is about cast iron cooking, you got to go to my idol, the man, the legend, Kent Rollins, and I'll put that down in the description. The gentleman is entertaining and unbelievable. I am just a novice to that, gentlemen. But for our purposes, how are we going to do now? So we've heated that back up. There's still some icky stuff on there. You're going to go get you some kosher salt. Now, if you've got hypertension, high blood pressure, and your significant other says, we're not putting some salt in the house, you just tell him or her, I ain't using it to eat. I'm going to put it in my pan. Not regular table salt, kosher salt, because it's grainy. You're going to put that hot pan in with some kosher salt, and then get you a rag or get you a paper towel or whatever it may be, and you're just going to clean that off. And that salt is going to bring out that icky stuff that's in there. So let's say you've cleaned that out, the salt's got it all done. Rinse that pan out again with what? Hot water. Now you want to re-season your pan. Y'all don't want to just go put that away. Not a good idea. When you do that, you're going to need oil to do that. Here is what you do not want to use. You do not want to use vegetable oil. Okay? You do not want to use olive oil. Olive oil can degrade inside your pan, and it also has a much lower smoke point. So if you seasoned it with the oil and then you go to use it next time, you're going to get your smoke alarms fitting to go nuts. It's just going to be all over the place. Okay? So you want to use what type of thing? Canola oil. You can use different types, peanut oil. I got this stuff off of their Amazon thing, and that's cast iron oil. Now, if you're from Kentucky, where I am, we say cast iron oil. It's old. It's not oil. It's old. And all it is flaxseed oil. You can get it at any store. You're going to put it on your rag, okay? Nothing abrasive. You're going to put a little dab will do you, all right? You're going to take your cast iron pan while it's warm. Not cold, remember? Nope. So you might have to put it back on the stove or in the oven just so it's warm to the touch. And you're going to put that oil all around it, all the aspects, right? So you put it down, let it cool off a little bit, get you a paper towel, and then just wipe up the excess oil. And that is how you clean. This is no good. No soap. I don't ever want to see, if you put two of these together, you're going to blow up. I tell you right, oh, see, I can't even do it. I can't, no good. All right. So again, let's recap. So with our cast iron, always hot to hot, no cold, no abrasives, no metal, no soap, no regular oil. Okay. Reseasoning it needs to be warm, and you use a flaxseed oil or you use a canola oil. If you get stuck and you can't get that stuff, you're going to use what? Kosher salt. Absolutely. So that's your care, and you're going to do that every single time, folks. Every single time. Why is cast iron sometimes better? It really heats and cooks more evenly. It's not the best for every type of food. I don't like it for anything that's got acidic or boiling things in it, but y'all will find that out. Lastly, some of you have contacted me and say, Flag 7, what you got on your wrist on either side? And as you know, on this channel, we honor our veterans and first responders. And on my right side, I don't know if y'all can see, my son is a police officer in Myrtle Beach. And this is a thin blue line paracord I wear for him, actually with 45 caliber casings with his badge number and his name. So I wear this every day in my mind to keep that gentleman safe. And he's very special to me, as is all our people on the front line of first responders. On my left-hand side, y'all might have seen what we call a memorial bracelet. And this is something that I wear for our fallen first responders and also for our fallen servicemen and women. Through my work with the Patriot Guard, I might have done their funeral, or I might have a connection to the family. And today, Captain Andrew Peterson Keel from Madison, Connecticut, who was killed March 11th, 2013 in Afghanistan. Wonderful family. Gentleman graduated from West Point, a hero, and I'm wearing that for him today. So as always, keep our first responders and our veterans first in mind. We care about them very much. Hope this helped in terms of how do you maintain, and look for some upcoming videos on cooking. The first one we're going to be doing is that fancy steak au poivre. Y'all stay healthy, be well, and we'll talk to you soon.